Hello everyone. Welcome to the world of procurement. My name is Ved Tiwari, and friends, many of my colleagues, LinkedIn connections and social media friends have suggested uh, quite a while that I should create a platform where we can put all the experience and knowledge related to purchasing, which I have acquired during my journey as a professional, and it should be beneficial to many of us and provide a mutual learning platform. इसी को ध्यान में रखते हुए आज मैं द वर्ड ऑफ प्रोक्योरमेंट को यहाँ पे पुट कर रहा हूँ. आशा है आप इसे पसंद करेंगे. So friends, let's start. Let's have a look who can be benefited. I mean, the people who are working currently as a procurement or supply chain professional, the students who are aspiring to build their career in procurement, in supply chain, or in general management, any industrial expert who want to take a deep dive on procurement, how it works, other professionals, or people in general who want to understand how procurement functions, how does it work in a country level or global level. So we all in general, it's a very good to understand, and in later part of the slide we'll also see that why it is so important to understand procurement and how it is significantly contributing to the company. Since it is first video, guys, so I'm just introducing in brief myself, so you can see my picture. Of course, my video is also there. So I have been handling various leadership positions in various global companies, in procurement, purchasing, both at the country as well as the global level. And you can see some of my qualities as a person in the left side, and also in the right side, the list of awards and recognitions, which I was very fortunate to receive, because I had a privilege to work with great teams, in most of my organizations. So if you see what is procurement, it's in simple words. Procurement is the act of buying of goods and services or works, that's it. And we can add that a company needs for its manufacturing or operations. So it's very simple word. This is what procurement can call. And taking you forward, you have been noticing that, many times people use word purchasing, procurement, sourcing, supply chain, materials. So let's understand what typically the difference is. And I am trying to give you the most acceptable definition or criteria which industries have set, but you would notice that it varies from European culture to American to Asia culture. Basically, if you see this triangle, there are in the bottom there is a strategic purchasing, which is sourcing, and then there's factory or business unit purchasing, which is called tactical buying. I call it tactical buying. And then there's stores. Just to give you an idea, those who are want to understand more, that strategic purchasing is like the people who does the price negotiation, they do supplier development, approval, contract management, more strategic nature of the job. And there are many more activities they do, but just to put some examples, we have which we have given here. And in the factory purchasing or BU purchasing, it's basically as defined tactical buying. So it's a PO placement, delivery follow-up, day-to-day coordination with factory and suppliers. So that's a typically kind of activities which day-to-day the team does. And then there is stores, which naturally is storing of raw material, finished goods, and all that stuff. If you combine strategic sourcing and factory purchasing or BU purchasing, then it is good to call it procurement. And some American companies also call it supply chain. You'll understand why they call it supply chain and what typically supply chain means. Traditionally, stores has been part of procurement function, and if we add stores to the procurement, it is historically called materials, and many Indian organizations with the large legacy still use materials as a function. However, most of the multinationals have taken it away and given to the factory or factory supply chain. And guys, just to tell you, in the last slide you understood the strategic sourcing, purchasing, procurement, And you see the typical supply chain and demand chain, which I call. So how, I mean, to understand how where procurement is placed. So you see the procurement where there is related to suppliers activity, then the manufacturing, which is your plant, distribution, and then naturally the customer. So on the left side is the suppliers, and right side is the customer, and then in between all those activities, and that's full chain is called demand chain, or even supply chain to many of the companies. And this is very, very important to understand, because we should not get confused supply chain, because supply chain is very, very big thing. It's full chain. Let's understand now why procurement is so important. And I have just given you a cost cake of a product, which is typically for automotive or manufacturing industry. And though I would not judge the value addition, other costs and profits and overheads, in this video, but generally, typically you see 50 to 70% of the total cost of product is material cost, which is, let's say, your procurement cost. And this is why it is so important, because let's say company turnover is 3,000 crores, and then eventually it becomes 1,500 to 2,000 crores, just the procurement cost, and would understand. So it's so important. And as you can see, it directly contributes to the bottom line of the company, which means the profitability and the cash flow. And many people understand this. And then what is also important, and what will be refreshing for many of you to know, that this also contributes to the top line of the company, customer satisfaction. We would understand in more detail going forward. So procurement is now considered as the top strategic function in any company. This transformation has happened in the last 5-10 years, as I'm witnessing. So this is a very good thing to happen. And guys, this is the kind of a framework, a global framework, which I have tried to put here to make sure that, we discuss and we decide how we will take this journey forward. Each picture, each images in this slide, and the content has a meaning, and there is a large background behind this. So we'll spend time going forward to go into each the details as we progress this journey of the world of procurement. And you see the top 10 activities which I have put for procurement or purchasing, whatever you call right now, that how typically it works at the country level and the global level. This is the first, let's say, and the center of everything is the people. That's the people management, and that is extremely critical for the success of procurement or of any company. This is very, very important, guys. So what I suggest that you go through this slide and also let me know your comments. And with this, I come to the end of my first video, and I appreciate that you found the time to watch this. And please do not forget to like it, share it, and give your comments and suggestions that how we can make it better. और आप किसी और लैंग्वेज में कुछ चाह रहे हैं इसको बनाना, और वेदर हिंदी and इंग्लिश मिक्स करें या फिर प्योर इंग्लिश करें या प्योर हिंदी करें, और कोई टॉपिक हो जो आप पहले लेना चाहते हैं, जो आप चाहते हैं कि मैं पहले एड्रेस करूं. So please feel free to give suggestions, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all a very, very great success and enjoy the world of procurement.